Welcome to the Sales Lab.
There's never a shortage of surprises like that, and it's just like, okay, who can I? That's why it's good when you're having a meeting or, uh, you know, moving the thing forward with the usual people that you're talking to. It's like, who else can I meet? And ask that question. Who else is involved? How is this thing going to work? Once it gets bought, what's going to happen from day one? Who's going to be responsible? And just expand that knowledge base of the people as much as you can. I mean, people that used to work for me, and with sales manager, that go, yeah, I know Exxon, I've got them handled. Oh yeah, who Exxon, yeah, me and the guy go to lunch every month, Oh yeah, you and the guy. Okay, so you've got Exxon covered then, right? So there's so many different pieces. So that's a good story. Yeah, it's a good, yeah. Who knew, right?
Yeah, and now it's a great example to share with the students of crossing your T's and dotting your I's, right? And
Yeah.
I guess as I talk through it, that maybe the other lesson is that we probably could have leaned on the C-suite and said, hey, you said we were going to launch and we need to launch. You need to tell this person to fall in line, and the result would have been a really bad project because there's perhaps a storyline, a version of this where the person is just told to do it. But that's not really what we needed. What we needed was it to be implemented carefully and conscientiously. We needed buy-in at all levels. So, yeah, I think there's maybe a secondary lesson there. That's okay. Even if we could have done it, that wouldn't have been the right way to do it in the first place. So,
Right. No, that's a good point. Yeah, there's so many different wrinkles to things, and there are no two situations that are the same. I think that's probably what I've learned as well. You sort of see the patterns, but the surprises never stop. You've never figured it all out. But that's why you just have to be inquisitive and open minded and friendly and always asking. What else can I do? What else can I do? Who else can I meet? How does this affect? What does this happen? How does it fail? What happens if it fails? That kind of thing.
these are great
Yeah.
questions. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier to do nothing. I think that's the other thing you learn. It's like, the biggest competitor may not necessarily be technically your competitor, but it's to do nothing,
Things are fine enough. Yeah.
apathy. Or it could be a project from within the organization. You're not only competing with somebody else that's in your business trying to sell a
Yeah.
similar solution, but you're competing with projects from within, because inside the organization, everybody's got their little pet project. So you're working with the guy that's got his pet project, but yet he's competing with his colleagues that also have their projects. So to help him put his project sort of higher up on that echelon of priority internally is always important, is another thing that's important, because you could have the solution done and then the project's killed because another one takes the priority. you
Absolutely.
know
Well, and you think, oh, this company has enough money for this. Well, maybe they have enough money for it, but do they have the time? Do they have the cognitive capacity to pay attention to this one other thing that you want them to pay attention to? There's
hmm
more limitations than just money, right?
yeah, that's right. And the other thing, too, sometimes you're looking for what that differentiator is between me and somebody else. You go, well, my stuff is so commodity, right? I mean, we all kind of do the same thing, but so how do I really separate myself? Maybe it's somewhere else in the supply chain. Maybe it's the back office part. Maybe it's the contracts. We're easier to work with the contracts. We're easiest payroll, not payroll, but the payment terms.
Right.
What other things does this touch that could be advantageous to an organization? Not, especially if you're looking for a differentiator between pipe coating. I do pipe coating. My competitor does pipe coating, but you know what? It's easier to do business with us because we don't have as rigid contracts, or our billing is much easier, or whatever. So there's
Yeah.
other parts of the process that can contribute to that, you know.